If you leave in the next 10 seconds, you're going to miss the moment this entire story turns, because this wasn't supposed to happen this way. And right now, people in power, the Tim Walzes, the Ilhan Omar, they are in full panic mode right now. I mean, scrambling. And let me show you why.
Let me give you the perfect example. How about Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? In February of this year, she shot down claims that she's actually a millionaire. She wrote, "My salary is $174,000 before taxes. I don't have stock or own a home, and I'm still paying off my student debt. So if you're going to lie on something that is public, maybe try checking my financial statements, and you will see I barely have thousands, let alone millions." Well, people have checked the public records now. Ilhan Omar apparently has a net worth upwards of $30 million, somewhere between $60 and $30 million. And get this, it's because of companies run and owned by her husband, who in 2023 had a net worth of $51,000. In 1 year, that $51,000 grew from $6 to $30 million. 3,500% growth in 1 year. What a good communist. It's always equality for you, elitism for those in power.
Oh, man. Now, let's start this thing quietly, not with anger, just a statement. Ilhan Omar says, "I'm not a millionaire." But Will Kane breaks down Ilhan, her net worth claims. You know, public records say something else. Now, listen, this isn't illegal by itself, right? Nobody's saying that. But here's the problem. When the math doesn't line up, people stop trusting the explanation. All right? That's what we're saying. And once trust cracks, everything that follows just gets louder. That matters. Because, you know, this story isn't about one number. It's about patterns, as we've been going over for the last few weeks. And when questions don't get answered, institutions get involved.
The American people want to know what is going on with Ilhan Omar, because I think it's abundantly clear she's probably complicit in a lot of the fraud we're seeing in Minnesota. Is she going to be investigated? Are you guys going to subpoena her immigration records? I mean, where do we stand on her?
So the ethics committee is going to take over a lot of that. And I do think that there's some potential wrongdoing as it relates to getting campaign contributions to entities that she funneled money through. So we'll see what the ethics committee does. That's their job. She's probably the best mouthpiece the Republicans have. So just continue on, say whatever comes to mind, because the American people disagree with her. Yeah. She is vehemently anti-American. Yeah. And it really hits home to a lot of Americans that are proud. They can be Republicans or Democrats, but they are proud to be an American. And the fact that she hates America so openly is really good for our chances in the midterms.
It certainly doesn't hurt. I think it's concerning to see some of her statements. I mean, she's recently said that enforcing immigration law is a waste of taxpayer resources. She said ICE is a lawless occupying force. So she just doesn't hold back. She's really a disgrace to our nation. But I think we get back to this everlasting question from the American people, at least the MAGA base, on the accountability.
Y'all heard somebody drop that plate? Somebody just lost their job.
Side of all of this, and you said she's going to be investigated likely by the ethics committee. Can we trust the ethics committee to actually be ethical?
I don't think you could. And this is where it stops being just internet chatter right here, y'all. An ethics committee referral isn't social media noise right there, y'all. In Congress, that's saying we need to look at this. Still, notice something important. No verdicts, no conclusions, none of that. Just scrutiny. And if you're innocent, scrutiny shouldn't scare you. Unless the scrutiny doesn't stop with you. Because while Washington debates paperwork, Minnesota tells a very different story.
So now we're at 2833 13th Avenue South in Minneapolis. And there's supposed to be a non-emergency medical transportation company here called Advance Mobility Incorporated. And what's interesting about this company is that state records show that it first registered with the state of Minnesota in 1999.
And they have been in business for over 26 years.
Yes, correct.
And so we're going to go inside.
They must have a lot of vehicles.
So this is Advanced Mobility 2833, boarded up. All these windows are covered right here. We're going to see if we can go inside. There's a bunch of shops in here. We have money transferring shop. We got clothes in here. There's a coffee shop. Let's see if Advanced Mobility is in here. We got spices. Is Advanced Mobility here?
You know 224?
I don't think you guys are allowed to record it.
Do you know where Advanced Mobility is?
Suite 224.
She's recording over there, so. Suite 224. Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is? Do you guys know where Advanced Mobility is?
Advanced Mobility?
Yeah, we're looking for it. Never heard of it?
What is this? What is that?
Oh, my name is Nick Shirley. We're just looking for Advanced Mobility.
Hey,
Where's Advanced Mobility at?
we don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for. All right, we're looking for Advanced Mobility. Nobody can help us right now. We got a whole group of people trying to get us out of here. We're looking for Advanced Mobility.
We don't care about advanced mobility.
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Get out. You need to get out. You need to get out. Get out.
Now they're pushing us out of here. Where's Advanced Mobility
We
at?
don't care about advanced mobility.
That's what we're asking for.
Get out. Get out.
Would you like to give a statement on where Advanced Mobility is?
No, go ahead. Get out. We don't care.
So Advanced Mobility is not anywhere here. We're leaving, sir. Would you like to give a statement on what's happening here in Minnesota?
You make stuff up. This is a lie. I don't care. Who do you work for? Who do you work for? No, who do you work for?
Nick Shirley.
Who do you work
This
for?
is Nick Shirley, sir.
I don't care about Nick Shirley. That's you.
Yes, sir.
But who do you work for?
For Nick Shirley.
I don't care about Nick Shirley.
That's who he's working for today, Nick Shirley.
This is from the
We
state
don't
of
care. We don't care
Minnesota.
about that. Get out of here.
Stop here.
And see, you guys say I can't film, but look at you guys filming. You can do that. You can film here.
Pay from the
Advanced Mobility doesn't exist.
Well, so what was interesting was we walked in there, and on the state's website, it says it's in Suite 224, but it's a one-story building. None of the suites had the number 2 on them. It doesn't exist. And it's been registered since 1999, and it doesn't exist.
Nick Shirley finds a 26-year-old ghost medical company. Now, this clip matters more than people realize. A company registered for 26 years, taking taxpayer money. And the address doesn't exist. Not closed, it's not moved, never existed. Now, here's the manipulation to watch for. They'll say this is about feelings or motives or who's asking a question, but none of that answers the only question that matters, which is, where did that money go? That's when the messaging changes.
The White House has now responded. Tim Walz, Jacob Frey, and Democrat leaders in Minnesota have done nothing but turn up the temperature, smear heroic ICE officers, and incite violence against them, all in the defense of criminal illegal aliens. In Minnesota, ICE has arrested rapists, drug traffickers, domestic abusers, and more, despite the Democratic opposition. The Trump administration will protect the American people and enforce the law without apology. Quick response, a lot to say. Your reaction. First reaction here on the Faulkner Focus, Clay Travis.
They're 100% right. And Harris, you remember this. In 2020, when we demonized police, what happened? Murder skyrocketed across the entire country, and we didn't let good law enforcement officers do their job. Now, Minnesota, Frey, Walz, they are deciding to demonize ICE officers. They're making them targets, and they are going to increase the overall level of violence in this country. I think President Trump has to step up aggressively, say, we're not going to do this. Remember what happened in L.A.? He sent in all the forces, and everything stopped in L.A. We got to do it in Minneapolis, too. It's out of control.
Now, before I respond to that exactly, this is what Governor Walz wrote, making his direct appeal to the president. I am making a direct appeal to the president. Let's turn the temperature down. Stop this campaign of retribution. This is not who we are. And an appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. We cannot fan the flames of chaos. That's what he wants. You know, if you just so happen to have a name that rhyme with thump and, you know, it happened to be January, you would have said that it would have got you. Notice what Walz asked for here, though. Not for answers, not for audits, but for de-escalation. That's politician language for let's stop talking about this. But here's the issue. You don't calm people down by ignoring the facts. You calm people down by explaining them. I'm just saying, if explanations don't come, something else will. Because now, how do I say, the lights are on?
We're so grateful for the partnership of Secretary Best and the Trump administration. So he started a new program where they're going to limit cash out to $2,000 a person, which is going to be a dramatic change for a lot of people. And they're also going to be geo-tracking all the cash that's leaving the Hennepin County or Ramsey County, which is where, a lot of this population lives. And so that will really help, because before they hadn't been tracking where the money went. And once it got to Dubai, they assumed, it was hard to track because it was going through the Hawala network.
Do you think Walz knew, or is he just an idiot?
It's been so widely reported, there's no way he couldn't have known. It's been known since his first year in 2019. There was an OLA report at that time that thought there would maybe be $100 million in childcare fraud and talked about the ties to terrorism, and that whistleblower was ignored and hounded, actually retaliated against. So everyone's been willfully turning a blind eye in the Walz administration.
So
Makes no sense.
He knew about it.
Makes no sense. That makes no sense. So the Treasury geo-tracks cash in Minneapolis. This is the moment everything changes. Now, for years, money moved freely. Paperwork passed. Nobody looked too closely. But now, cash is being geo-tracked. Not speeches, rallies, and tweets, money. And when money gets tracked, them narratives, they fall apart real quick, because we all know numbers don't argue. They don't posture. They don't do no spinning, no whoop-de-doos, you know what I mean? They just lead somewhere. And I want you to watch what happens next.
7 defendants of Somali and East African descent are facing a myriad of charges, including wire fraud, bribery, and money laundering, all of it connected to that massive Feeding Our Future fraud scheme. Authorities have said hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer funding earmarked to feed hungry children during the pandemic was stolen by fraudsters. You can see the defendants and their attorneys arriving at the courthouse today. This group is scheduled to go on trial in just a few months, April 20th, and their attorneys now argue that they will not be able to get a fair trial in Minnesota when that happens because of everything going on surrounding fraud and immigration crackdowns with ICE and Homeland Security, on top of the president's own statements about the Somali people.
As the president says, garbage, fraudsters, murderers, pedophiles, these defendants are none of those things. We want a fair trial, and we want to transfer to a district where the jury pool is not so tainted by local events, including the militarization of federal agents on the streets every day. That would be a fair and balanced jury in another district, not here at this moment in time.
This right here is fair. It says 7 Somali defendants facing massive fraud charges of $15 million are demanding the trial be moved out of Minnesota, citing ongoing ICE operations and Trump calling them garbage. Told y'all this is fair. Dressed up as, legal language. They say they can't get a fair trial because the environment is too charged. I'm going to translate that for y'all real quick. I got you. Too much information is coming out. That's what they mean. And notice what they don't say. They don't say the money didn't move. They don't say anything like the fraud, anything like that didn't happen. They say, please don't judge us here. Basically, that should tell you everything. And suddenly, man, the beginning, it just makes sense. This right here, actually. I ain't gonna play it all over again, but here's the truth that the left doesn't want to say out loud. You can't build compassion on corruption. You can't defend the vulnerable by protecting the powerful. And you don't get to lecture the country while completely avoiding accountability. That's not about race. It's not about hate. It's about law, order, ultimately the truth. The boring things that actually keep a country standing. And when those things show up, we see that the scrambling has begun. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to write the Walz talk. Because them whistleblower, what is it made? It coming. Y'all be safe. Go check it out for today. You quite literally be saving their life.